Browns Cardinals week. Tony Camino there. I'm Andy Billman here. Check out believeintheland.com where we break down this game in one paragraph. I chose that, not Tony. Sir, me did that. Because I said, look, there's not a lot to chew on. Browns are either going to win or they're going to lose because they have a lot of advantages in this game. The Cardinals are limping in. They are 1-7. We've rooted for teams like this. They are mind-numbing to root for. They just traded their starting quarterback to the Vikings. So he's gone. We know very well, Josh Dobbs. And Tony, this is a rare moment. And you're going to get back to Deshaun Watson. So you're coming off a loss. You're playing a team you're supposed to beat. You have your starting quarterback has something to prove. Tony, how do we lose?
Well, it doesn't seem like there is a way, but there's always a way. These games are going to always be closer than you expect them to. A couple big turnovers, a couple of stupid plays that just don't go our way, and then things could be up for grabs again. But really, we do have the advantage everywhere. This is an Arizona team that has had some success running the ball, but that running back room is completely unhealthy. James Conner's still out. Amari DiMercado came in and played pretty well. He's out as well. It's probably going to be Clayton Tune. It changes a lot if it's Clayton Tune versus Kyler Murray. I don't see why they would bring Kyler back for this week, but I know the reports were that he's dying to get back out there. So it really is one of those games where the matchups, I mean, we just have the advantage everywhere.
This is the rare NFL week where it's like you have to win and you can tune up. You hear that in basketball. You certainly hear that in baseball, where you have times where you can play players in there to see if they can get a victory. And obviously in baseball, it's such a long season, you need to do that anyways. Basketball, you're seeing it more and more like baseball. Football, you don't hear this. This is a pure tune-up game. If the Browns lace up their shoes, play how they're supposed to play, do what they're supposed to do, it should be good, because after this is the North Gauntlet, where they go to Baltimore, and then they come home to Pittsburgh. It's rare to say an NFC matchup is a must-win, but Tony, I actually will. You don't even have to ask me on Tuesday when we do these videos. Bad loss, and maybe devastating. Browns got to get this win. Really do. Got to get this one.
Yeah, they do. It's not going to be one where it truly buries the season in terms of like practicality, but from an emotional standpoint, losing a game like this off of the emotional loss we had last week, we kind of circle this one as like we've been super cautious with Deshaun in part because we know the team is good enough to win this game without him. And now it's great that he's getting back, because the last thing you want is to throw him to the Ravens and Steelers with, we don't know how he's going to respond to a hit. We don't know how his arm is going to be throwing the ball. So it's nice that he's going to get back to game speed this week. But it's a big one. It really positions us nicely going forward if they can just get the win and get it over with.
Yep, and I'll put it this way to fans to go, why do you saying that? I love math. They're 2-2. You break down the season of 4 quarters. They're going to go 3-4 if they win. That means you gained a game back to get 2 games up. If you go 3-4 again and they play, yes, the Steelers and the Ravens, but if you split that, which is probably what's going to happen, then you beat the Broncos, which, oh my God, normally I'd be freaking out too. It's digestible. You can do that. Playing the Rams, who are, in my opinion, starting to play out the string mode. They are good enough, not a give me, but going 3-4 at 3 out of 4 wins, not impossible. Now you get to 8. And once you get to 8, you're getting closer to 10 or 11. So you can see the road to the playoffs. Win this game, and you can see the road to the playoffs. The other thing is here, Tony, which is obviously the bigger storyline, which I get, but I want to start off with something different, is the Deshaun Watson show. It would be great to see him do things. We've been here a long time, so I'm not going to say I've never seen something like this as I have. We've seen all sorts of wild speculation in the Browns since they moved back. So I can't say this is that unique, but it is, I guess. I mean, Deshaun Watson's health's been a unique storyline. There's nothing, again, I think this is pure and simple. He has a lot to prove. He really does in this game. Even if he just goes 200 yards with a touchdown, no interceptions, that would go not some, but it would help heal before he gets into those next weeks of games with the Ravens and Steelers.
Yeah, we've been kind of hearing the quotes from Deshaun, and it sounds like the outside, the media, the fans have had a little more influence on the situation than they should have. He talked about how he felt a little more pressure from everyone to play against the Colts when that clearly wasn't the right call. And it's been a very tough situation because I think it's been tough for everyone. I don't think they've known how to handle it because they thought it was going to heal quicker and it didn't. It's been a messy situation
It
nonetheless.
has been.
If he can just come out, I like PJ Walker. I love the effort he put forward, but the bottom line is he just is not a good quarterback.
No.
And Deshaun has a very low bar to exceed the level PJ played at. But if he plays anywhere near average, we're gonna win most of the games going forward. And if he plays above average, that's when we start talking about making a deep run.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's time. It is. Like, I would not rush this back, and I'm assuming he's not. I think Deshaun actually did something on his – I'm trying to get my days of the week right. His Thursday press conference. Usually it's Wednesday, but it's Thursday. I appreciated how he opened up and said, look, that was a mistake. That's my call. It's like you just did some eliminate not all of it, but you've alleviated some stress. And it's like a pimple. You've taken out some of the pus. So now it's not so red. So I give him credit there. I thought that was a good healing moment, actually. He needs more, but that was a good first step. Here's the other things that I want to watch for in this game. I don't think we'll see DeJuan Jones. Maybe we will. Again, I hate to say this. This is kind of one of those games. I'd rest him because you have two tough teams coming back-to-back after that. I kind of want to see what we could get again from the running game. Happier with that than I have been in past weeks. They've been really running the ball well. And then we haven't talked about this. Are you okay with the DPJ trade?
I'm okay with it in most senses because when you think of it from a purely value analytical standpoint, you draft DPJ in the 6th round, you get 3.5 years out of him, and you trade him for a 6th round pick when you were going to lose him for nothing. That part of it's great. If you told us last year, the year before, that this was going to be how it ended, you wouldn't have been happy because he was productive. Honestly, the biggest concern I have with replacing him is we loved using him condensed to the formation right next to the O lineman where he would down block, and a lot of his impact doesn't show up in the box score. So Cedric Tillman's a plenty big body to do that same role, but DPJ, even in the Seahawks game, had plenty of moments where he had really good crack blocks to allow the Browns to then get outside and get to the perimeter. So if they can replace that, unfortunately his receiving production was not there at all this year. So we don't really have to worry about replacing that. It's more just, can we get someone to step up in the run blocking department in that role he filled?
Run blocking and health. The Browns, if they lose another receiver here, it gets thin fast. David Bell sounds like he's iffy. This team is thinning out quickly now, wide receiver. That's my only problem with it. It's like if you lose Elijah Moore, you lose someone else. And by the way, these guys play different positions on the field on wide receiver. I get it. My point is you're thinning out something that was actually nice. When you have DPJ, it's like you can handle the absorption of something that happens. Now that he's gone, Tillman run blocking is a big one, and just catching the ball. I mean, look, he is a rookie receiver who hasn't really seen the field. So it's asking a lot. Interesting to see if Austin Watkins might sniff at some point. Because I thought he actually had a good preseason, and I know Tony Grossi talks about him a lot. I'm kind of with Tony. It's like I wouldn't mind seeing him at this point because I think it actually might add a spark. So that's where we are. I guess we have to do the formality. Is there any chance Arizona wins this game, Tony?
I mean, there is definitely a chance. They've hung in with some teams before. They beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys were a great team. So I'm not going to sit here and say there's zero chance the Browns lose because that's just not realistic. If the Browns play anything close to a clean game where they have less than 2 turnovers and their defense doesn't get gashed for big play after big play, then there really shouldn't be a way they lose this game.
There's 99.999999999% chance they're going to win. There's that 0.1. Somewhere down in one of those zeros. That's it. That's all I see here. This is a gift from the scheduling gods. It actually gives the Browns somewhat of a little chance to reset before they do this next string of games. Again, must win in this game. Okay, Tony Camino there. I'm Andy Billman here. Check out all of our material at believeintheland.com. See you 9 a.m. for Cards and Browns.